1, 2, week 4. That's where we are, baby. Oh my God. Am I hot? I'm a little too hot, baby. Harlow. All right, baby. Welcome to week 4. Welcome to Behind the Lines, folks. Hi. We're your hosts right here, Ron Harlow, with host Robert Kebs Keeler.
Hello.
And wow, what a week of what was that? I mean, insanity. I think it's for all you Cooper Kupp fans out there. What this guy is lighting it up, and a third rounder. And
he was my third receiver. I took Ridley and Tyreek Hill.
You have got
and I got
player
Kupp.
there.
That's a good 3.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do. Yeah. We had some craziness though, as you know. We lost a big one. We're going to talk about it, of course. But I've got my 5 things. Yes, my 5 things that start off the show so we can get it going quickly as possible. My 5 things this week, Robert, are questions. Questions. Did you know Did you realize Kansas City is one late comeback in week 1 away from being 0-3?
Yep.
And now Josh Gordon. Boo. Boo. Big boo, right? Are we still boo there?
We're still booing Josh. I mean, he's not going to have much of an impact.
It's about 50%, to be honest with you, of all the experts out there that we read and we decide if they're crazy or not.
They're crazy.
They're the ones that say he's going to be something. Again, it's what's 2 years ago he hung in there for 780 yards or something. But we just think this team's done pretty well locked down with the 2 wide receivers. They're not going to forget about Mecole Hardman, right? They're not going to forget about Robson, Pringle.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go on the practice squad. He's probably not going to play the first game or 2. He doesn't know the system. He's not in game shape. He's 30 years old.
If you're in the last place and you need a desperation number 1, there's your guy.
Or if you're in like a 12, 14, 16 team league,
you're right.
Maybe you take a
bench.
You got to you take a shot, but in a 10 or 12 team league, you take a wait and see approach.
Did you know?
I did.
The Bengals are a top 10 fantasy defense.
I did know that. They're ranked 9th, right?
Yes. 10 sacks, 4 takeaways, 18 points a game. Now they get the Jags minus 7 or 7.5. And I have been reading that this is going to be an upset special for some folks.
Yeah.
But hey, they played Pittsburgh. They made Big Ben. That should tell you all you need to know about the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Right.
Correct.
We're not thinking the Bengals are really great.
First series of the game, I text my boys. We kind of send stuff to each other during the game. I said, Big Ben is in trouble. Pittsburgh offense is in trouble. Something's wrong with this dude.
19 targets for the running backs.
Yeah, I saw the first series. I went, uh-oh. He's like, I can't throw. He threw 58 times and got 300 yards. Which is insane. It's an insane, like you said, he targeted the running back. What was it? 19 times. He caught 14 balls.
The highest ever for Lev Bell was 14.
Right.
We might be wrong about Najee just because he's the only healthy body standing right now.
Well, I got him and Claypool. Claypool's a little banged up, but he probably play. But well, you look at the Bengals. Let's get back to the Bengals number 9 ranked defense.
Right on.
They played the Bears. They played Pittsburgh, and I forgot who they played in their other game. Oh, they played Minnesota, which Minnesota put up 350 on them. But, yeah, I mean, they haven't played them exactly the past.
It is Jacksonville, though. I mean,
Jacksonville,
the guy's been throwing a lot of picks.
Absolutely.
He's got 7 picks in 3 games, I believe.
Yes, he's got 7 picks, 7 touchdowns, not 7 touchdowns. But they're going to play in a short week. They're going to play the Bengals.
All right,
I'm not that excited about their defense.
My self-serving question, Robert.
Sure.
Why is it every time I have the number 1 overall pick, they get hurt?
Yeah, me too. Hurt. Just 2 years in a row, McCaffrey. Driving me crazy. I should have took Derrick Henry.
Right?
I was like...
Not Dalvin even. Just Henry. Just take Henry. I thought about it.
I thought about it, too. I debated that, and I was like, you know what? I should take Henry. And then everybody's like...
Folks that watch, do the math. I'm 55 years old. My very first fantasy pick ever was Jerry Rice at 19 years of age. I didn't get the first pick in any of my leagues, which I never did more than 2 back then. Yeah. Until Terrell Davis was the number 1 guy. Right. And you know what year I had the number 1 pick? The Terrell Davis year.
I had the number 1 pick, and I took Marshall Faulk his rookie year.
Really? He went number 6 his rookie year and went crushed.
He crushed. I mean, I think I was the 3rd or 4th pick in that draft, and I was like, Marshall Faulk. He's gonna go to the Colts. I was like, for some reason I took him. I had Marino that year. I think I won the Super Bowl that year.
And then, of course, my very next number 1 was David Johnson. Broke his hand the first game. So this is 3 for 3. I don't get the number 1 pick very often. But Chuba, we love you. Number 30. I'm going to get the jersey. I'm getting a Chuba jersey. Chuba Hubba. We need a nickname like Donnie Peeps Jones. Because Chuba Hubbard is just a really fun name. He looked all right. It was a little struggle getting going, but he ended up 5 yards to carry. They're going to use him out of the backfield. They're saying he's this. My man Adam Rank's talking about sitting him this week. I don't know how you sit him.
Why would you sit him?
You can't sit Chuba Hubbard.
What the hell are they talking about? Somebody said that on
television? Yes,
television?
they did. He's a
Don't listen to that nonsense.
No, I agree.
I mean, for the volume he's going to get, you can't. You shouldn't sit any running back who's getting that kind of volume. What are you, nuts?
The other wild card guy. If you want to just keep your name on it, because we're both folks that are Ab McCaffrey. We're both folks that drafted Chuba Hubbard, right?
I didn't draft.
You didn't draft. Oh, that's right. You have shorter rosters. Did you get him?
Yeah, no.
No, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
That was a busy day for you.
We're gonna be okay. Nah, we're gonna be okay.
Okay.
Chuba's. Yeah.
It could be 2 weeks, by the way. Again, he's not even. He's not even going on the DL, right?
He's not going on a DL,
which is a 3 game.
Yeah, 3 games.
That's only three games. So they must think.
Yeah, they're thinking that he's not going to be back. But I was driving home from my situation that I had going on, and I was listening to the fantasy sports station. These guys were. They go, well, McCaffrey got hurt. And I go, I was driving, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And
I almost texted you, but I knew you were busy.
The way they were talking, they were like, oh, this is so horrible. This could be. He must have broke something. He must have twisted his knee. He must be dead. I was like, something. I go, oh, no. I get home. He pulled his hamstring, and he might be out a couple weeks. I'm like, well, what are these guys talking about?
Hamstrings suck.
Hamstrings do suck, but my God.
Turf toe sucks.
The way these guys were talking on the radio, I thought,
yeah,
I'm in big trouble again. At least it's only a couple weeks.
Yeah, let's hope. And then keep Royce Freeman back in your mind. Again, former Denver guy, small guy, little guy, fits that offense.
Back type.
Fits that offense. Here's a general one. And I don't know what you want to say. I mean, we all have love what Mike Williams is doing, but how are all these receivers so wide open? There's guys not even in the screen, not even in the picture. They just run, and there's. You said that a lot of folks are playing this cover too, where they're watching their backs, and they're getting behind them. Still, these wide receivers are just.
I was watching
10 catches in the game is nothing anymore.
I was watching the one of the games I was watching. The announcer's like, they're in cover 2. Nobody's supposed to get behind you, and they still got behind them. And I was like,
awful. These guys are terrible.
I think the defensive. I think most teams can't put together 2 good quarterbacks, let alone enough for like a nickel back in passing situations. So,
do you think it's a position that's losing, like they're not developed? Because most of those guys, obviously, those are the similar guys that become wide receivers as well. Right. But they're usually not big enough.
They're usually not tall enough. Right. They're usually in that 5'10", 5'11", and they're quick, fast. They're not like the 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guys you see.
I can't believe how wide open
the secondary play is off. You can't touch anybody.
Right.
The quarterback's got all day to throw. You can't rush the quarterback. You can't put pressure on him.
You got to move
except if you're Cleveland.
You have to hit the quarterback while running at him by pushing your head somewhere else. Your head's got to go over here or over here.
But I mean, it's hard. Right now, it's a passing league, and
wow.
We talked about that. If you need a wide receiver free agent, you're going to be able to find one on most waivers that you can put into like a flex position.
At the very least. So many guys.
Then
they let you down like KJ Osborne last week or Rondale Moore. Oh my God, heartbreaker for me. But then my guy had a great game. AJ Green, which we're going to talk about.
AJ Green.
We're going to give him 30 seconds. We're going to give him 30 seconds later.
Well, he might get some time.
This is an ancillary question. The question number 5. Then we heading into the waiver wires. Are there any good defenses in the NFL? Are there only poor offenses that you target to go against? And I'm honestly, because Cleveland's a good defense. No, Cleveland played the Bears.
The Cleveland played the Bears. They had like 2 or 3 sacks going into that game. They got 9 sacks. Obviously,
could have killed the guy.
They could have killed him. I mean, Matt Nagy.
That's bad.
Should be taken up on charges. Two RPOs he ran. And 2 rollouts he ran out of 30-some snaps that he let him pass.
And if you watch it wasn't like Fields had a chance to look at his second option.
What are you doing?
He was here, then he go, okay, over here. By the time he turned his head, they were on him.
I mean, I'm not a genius, I don't think, of offensive football, but you've got to move him around. And they wouldn't max protect. They wouldn't leave a back in. They wouldn't leave a tight ends in. When you see your quarterback getting pressured like that,
try to figure out doing less guys down the field. Yeah.
Hey, max protect. Max protect. Have you watched the Monday
Tom Brady for 15 years?
No, have you watched any of the Monday night stuff with Peyton Manning and Eli?
I do not. Should I?
Yes.
Okay.
Some of it's kind of nonsense, but then
when they
talk real quarterbacking,
that's when the gravy.
That's the gravy. That's what you get two guys probably in the Hall of Fame talking about what should be happening, and you could see on Monday night when they were talking about the Dallas in Philadelphia, they were questioning Philadelphia's offensive play call. They're like, why don't they leave a tight end in? Oh, they left a tight end in there, but then they didn't run the play that you should run when you leave the tight end in. Yeah. Okay. That kind of thing. They were really breaking down some of the offensive play calling, how they would look at it if they were quarterbacking. It's kind of interesting. Some of it's nonsense. They started talking about LeBron and Chris Long and then Eli gave you the double bird. Did you see that?
No. You gave the double bird to who?
Camera.
Okay.
All right. Really quick. The Dallas was playing Philadelphia. So Peyton Manning asked him, Eli used to play in the division with the Eagles. So how was it when you went to Philadelphia to play?
Oh, my God.
And then he's like, those fans are crazy.
They are.
They're yelling stuff at you from the minute you get there. And he goes, when I was there, some little 9-year-old girl gave me the double bird. And he goes,
you could meet an NFL quarterback, but instead.
And then he goes, well, I could probably do it here, right? And then he's got his fingers up, and Peyton Manning's like, what are you doing? And then they went to a commercial, and then he came back, and Eli's like, I apologize for that. I did not mean to do that. He goes, what point he said? The Philadelphia fans would yell stuff about my mother, and then I would have to Google it to figure out what it meant.
Oh, my gosh.
He's like, those Eagle fans are crazy. And that's why he gave the double bird.
Rock on.
But, I mean, it's interesting when they talk quarterbacking, when they talk protections, and when they question the play calling, like when you see what the Dallas defense is showing you, why are you calling X play? Because it's playing right into their hands. And they question those sort of things. And it makes it kind of interesting when you're talking about play calling and from a quarterback perspective that they both have. And it's kind of interesting.
That's that is the quarterback, trifecta there in that household. No doubt about it.
I think they can talk quarterbacking.
Super Bowls for sure.
I think they can talk quarterbacking there.
Rock on. Let's move to waivers. Let's talk about some of our holds again. You follow me if you can. If you can't hold them, don't hold them. But I'm gonna keep Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney if I can.
Yeah.
Fields, that was an embarrassment. Was really bad.
You gotta keep Fields.
I think you got to see what they're gonna do in retrospect to change that horribleness. I also say I'm not a huge fan. He's missed practice, personal, suspended. Hang on to Will Fuller, maybe 1 or 2 more weeks. But I'm not kidding you. I mentioned him here because, in my opinion, in that offense, he is miscast horribly and is maybe not worth a roster spot. Yeah. Will Fuller. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's probably miscast a little bit. I mean, it might probably be a little different situation when Tua comes back.
True.
The way Brissett playing and the way he kind of manages the game. If Fuller's skill set isn't playing into the deep ball from Brissett.
If you picked him up,
he's a deep ball guy.
If you picked him up, you did. That's exactly right. If you picked him up, I still say Ced Wilson good. Caught the touchdown. He had one called back. No. He caught an amazing one on the sideline that was ridiculous. And they said it was a catch, but it wasn't. It was pretty nice. I think he's got a roll still.
That's a really good play.
I'm going to give myself a humble brag here. We gave you Dalton Schultz last week. He was the big star of the Dallas offense and played pretty. On that second touchdown, he wiggled. He looked a little Travis Kelce with that wiggle. I thought so. And I also say, hang on, I know he didn't have a great game, but he was out there for 78% of the dropbacks for Cousins. Keep out KJ Osborne. It was Conklin's week. I think Conklin scored the first touchdown of the week, by the way.
He did.
Why do I always remember that? Because it's never me. I didn't get my first touchdown outside of a quarterback until Chris Carson in the afternoon. It was a bad week for my team. 0-6 I went.
Wow.
Rare. But I crushed at the window thanks to our picks and a few. I faced Josh Allen in 2 leagues, Robert, so I knew he was going to go crazy on me. So
of course he was.
I bet him on everything. I had him on. I even bet him on attempts. I bet him on passing attempts, I won.
He was the top fantasy quarterback last week, easily.
Yeah, he was. All right, here's some dumps. Or if you still got him, dump him. Ronald Jones. Did you know Tom Brady's 3 rushes for 14 yards led Tampa Bay in rushing last week, Robert?
Yeah.
Led them in rushing.
That
is scary weird.
Well, Gio was that kind of 9 catch, 50, 60 yards. I think it's 50-some yards. So he was that kind of like little.
The one they wanted, the James White.
Yep. All right. James White light.
And he's done for the season, by the way. Sorry, James White, you're done. We just got that news. So I say he's a dump. Gabe Davis, we do you well. I think at least till Sanders gets hurt, it's his spot outside wide. That seems great. Jerry Jeudy, I'm not holding him for 6 weeks. Maybe if you think. I mean, it depends on how big your roster is. He did get dropped in a few leagues already of mine. Randall Cobb, if you didn't already. James White, Aguilar, of course. And Big Ben. Big Ben's probably not doing you any good. He's throwing for less yards per attempt than last year. You didn't think it was possible.
It's impossible. It's near impossible.
It's like
like I said, I watched that game. First quarter, I went, oh my, whoa. I mean, he looked like he couldn't move. He looked like he couldn't throw. I told Trish, I said, they're going to replace him at halftime. They're going to have to put in Mason Rudolph.
Somebody, anybody.
Or Dwayne Haskins, somebody. I mean, there's no way Big Ben finishes the year. No way. He's done.
He was done last year.
He was done last year.
He was done last year. We know
thought they were getting another, I don't know, maybe year of management out of him, but their defense isn't the world beaters they were last year, especially with T.J. Watt with his groin. He's not around. And he might play this week. He might not play this week. Pittsburgh just, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's bad.
And they got a bad. Who do they play? Somebody I wouldn't want to play their defense this week. I can't remember. We're losing our minds here.
You play somebody that you should win.
Yeah, but I think Green Bay.
Oh,
they're -6.5. Actually, I'm betting Green Bay.
Forget what I just said.
Yeah.
I'm saying they should win that game. Hold on.
Wait, yeah, that was.
Whoa, wrong game.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, Green Bay is a much better team than Pittsburgh right now on Big Ben. I can't see how he finishes a game if he plays the same way.
I agree.
Oh my gosh.
All right, waivers we favor. My first phrase, Josh Gordon, no. Just no. Don't do it. If you feel like you got to do it, but I'm saying no.
Don't do that.
My top 5 in any order, of course, only rostered in 33% of leagues. Chuba Hubbard. That was after the injury. Someone said they were saying 2%. I go 2%. He's locked in. Again, he's obviously the 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks. You're gonna
at least 2 weeks for volume. And
you want him,
a guy.
I'm hurting at running. Who was not hurting at running back?
Everybody could use another running back.
I got Tim Patrick only rostered in 23%.
I don't understand.
Sky's the limit right now, right? KJ Hamler gone for the
season.
Bridgewater is good. He's actually pretty good.
Team
3-0.
Yeah, Tim Patrick should be rostered at least 50-75% of the league.
I debated Emmanuel Sayers above him.
Yeah.
Only we know. Would you agree? I mean, Stephon Diggs is not a decoy. Sooner or later, he's going to do.
Oh yeah,
he's going to score more than 10. Robert, can you tell me that?
Yes.
I mean, the reason
absolutely.
How do you go 0-6? Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs put up 15 points in total for you. That's going to be a problem.
Yep. And that's why I lost my league. I had McCaffrey. He got hurt. Diggs didn't have a big game, even though Buffalo had a
Mixon didn't have a big game. Ty Williams is crushing me.
One of my defensive players got hurt.
But we're done. That week's over. I'm winning this week.
Don't look back.
And I'm going to win with some of these guys. All right, we got Emmanuel Sayers, only rostered in 27%.
He should be high.
He should be much higher on. How about this 3% we gave him last week? Dalton Schultz. Here's what we know. He only outsnapped Jarwin by 1 snap, 70 to 69. But Schultz is why is he the better one, Ron? Because he's the one that's open. If Jarwin's not pushing off and getting open, that's the problem. Schultz is bouncing like the second touchdown. He chipped his guy, got out into the middle. I could run out of bounds, maybe. No, I'm cutting in. Give me my Dak Prescott touchdown. I think he's rosterable at least until Gabe Gallup gets back. Again, Sid Wilson maybe. I said one of those two guys was going to spike, and it's Schultz. I think it's going to be worth a roster spot. If you got Gronk this week, he's hurt. Everett's going on COVID. If you were going to play him, again, he had a decent week last week, 5 for 54. Right, Everett's still in the game.
So COVID. When you say that Dallas is splitting the snaps, what are the snaps? Are they passing snaps or the running snaps?
Good point. Jarwin's out there for the runs.
And Jarwin's out for the run. Schultz is out for the pass right now. So.
All right, how about Peyton Barber? What do you think? 26 touches. Well, he dove. Peyton Barber's keyboard. He's an old man. He jumped over the top.
I have a note.
Why don't they like Kenyon Drake?
Well, they said that in the third quarter, mid-game, sometime around mid-game, they replaced Drake. Barber replaced Drake as the third down back even.
Yes.
So he was playing nearly every snap. He just looked more dynamic than Drake. I mean, Drake, obviously, we talked about, he's one of the highest paid backups in football.
And he's not doing it.
He's not doing it. Kurt's not in love with Jacobs. Jacobs is always banged up. He's got kind of a turf toe injury, which, when your toe hurt, turf toe always sounds like, he'll
be right. He'll be back next week. Just pull that out of there.
No, but the toe that's when that joint in that toe, you can't put any weight or pressure on it when you push off the run or cut.
Right, that's the cut. It's the cut, right?
Easily, Jacobs could miss his week again.
So he's worth grabbing.
He's definitely worth grabbing.
On a team that's putting up big points and 3-0.
I mean, last week I got the stats. I wrote them down.
Stat time.
Stat time.
I pre-stat
Barber, 23 carries, 111 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 targets, 3 for 31. I mean, definitely, like Carr's averaging 400 yards a game. The Vegas leading the NFL in yardage per game as an offense.
Who knew?
So who knew, and why wouldn't you want a piece of that? You wouldn't want the running back. Peyton Barber should not be on waivers.
Grab him. Okay, let's move into the actual, beyond the top 5. Just going to the running backs beyond Peyton Barber. I don't have much here for you,
There's not much out there.
I really wanted him after the game I saw, but then obviously a touchdown for Gio Bernard. He got hurt. That looked nasty. That hit looked, I was kind of glad he flipped over. If he didn't flip over, those legs were coming off. I think they were. He made some noise before he got hurt.
Yeah, definitely 9 catches.
He's a long-term player with the inept backfield they know they have with those guys. And sooner or later, I think Tom Brady just steps in and says, hey, at least give this Gio 50%. I think he's going to be a 50% or at least at some point.
Absolutely. They're going to get to the point where they're playing him at least 50% of the time.
Because he's not big enough for the big load. He's not Tiki Barber. He's not that kind of guy.
But
he's small. But
he helps when Brady gets that pressure. You got that little dump off, that safety valve.
Right on. How about J.J. Taylor?
Well, what? I'm sorry. We'll go back to Tom Brady. Tom Brady is leading the NFL in attempts per game at 47. So think about that.
He's only 43.
They're not running the ball. They're throwing the ball a lot. He's got 46.
No running game. Yet.
No running game, pretty much. Why wouldn't you want that pass receiving back on the top team? Duh.
Right on. Yeah.
Right on.
I think there's some crazy bets out there this week too. Like you can make good odds if Brady's the top fantasy quarterback or something. Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff out there. How about JJ? All right, the only one I'm looking at. We know. All right, James White. Obviously, when waivers come, we know guys are out for the season every week. It sucks, but it happens.
It's happening,
and it's not just our fantasy guys, but defensive alignment. It happens. It's a brutal sport.
Linebacker from Giants towards ACL.
Ow. There's 3 guys we're looking at here. We're looking at the old Saul, Brandon Bolden. We got this Stevenson, Ramondre Stevenson, and we got the guy that is molded by James White. Yeah, J.J. Taylor, my man Adam Rank, who I do like. He's big on J.J. Taylor. He's the only one I'm looking at this guy. But I know what do they need him for? They need him for 5 or 6, catches a game,
let's think about this New England situation. Last week, why did Damien Harris get pulled out of the game?
Pass protection.
Couldn't be trusted in pass protection. He allowed 28.6% of the time Damien Harris is in the game. He allowed pressure on the snaps and the passing downs. That's unacceptable, New England. So they're pulling Damien Harris out. So somebody's got to play. And then they signed Brandon Bolton. Brandon Bolton wasn't even on the team. They signed him to play special teams and be like the third or fourth back. But now they kind of went, he's good at pass protection. Let's put him in. So he definitely finished the game for New England last week. But he's not a fantasy running back. He's a real-life running back. Yeah. So, I mean, Stevenson, I don't think they're really going to trust a rookie. I think you'll see J.J. Taylor mixed in with Bolton and Harris. But I don't think any, except for Harris, which you got to wonder if they start pulling him out of the passing downs. Is he only playing 1 or 2 downs or a couple?
He is. He's not.
Rotating him out of the rotation, when he depends on the snap count. Damien Harris, it definitely got reduced last week. This week they're playing Tampa. They're going to be coming after Mac Jones.
Oh, you know it.
You know it.
Because that's all they got. They got
I
no
don't see
secondary
Damien Harris playing more than 40-50% of the snaps at the very most. So
give him a look. Give J.J. Taylor a look.
J.J. Taylor, but he got to catch the ball. They haven't been throwing the ball to the running backs except for James White.
And then all I have left is either it's the one hit away right now. Although we hear on the Rams side, Darrell Henderson slated to get back in there.
Saw that.
I didn't see Sonny Michel really excite me.
Hopeful.
You watched that game. Sonny Michel didn't really look super.
He didn't look dynamic. He was just a guy, an average.
So Jake Funk is I don't think Michel.
Funk had one carry.
I know for 6 yards. He averaged 6 yards a carry, Robert.
I saw Funk with the carry, and my little, I went, is Funk gonna get a series?
No,
it was one carry.
You're Jake in the Funk. I actually picked him up. I have Jake Funk at the very. I go. Well, I have Darrell Henderson too, but I don't have Sonny Michel. So we put him on one team, and I think again, and Royce Freeman. Again, we're one hit away for a couple of weeks. If Chuba gets hurt, Freeman's going to be there's nobody else there. All right, moving on. Wide receivers past Emmanuel Sayers. How about Sammy Watkins, averaging 7 targets a game, 22% target share, and we got Bateman. Bateman just coming to the their hallowed rookie, Rashad Bateman, who I like, hitting the practice squad.
I still think you'll see, even though he's starting to practice, he's still behind.
A month away. A month, I said.
Yeah, he's behind the
learning curve.
Learning curve, if you will. And they're not going to just go out there and say, well, get Watkins out of there. They like Watkins and Brown.
Brown dropped 3 touchdowns, so maybe.
He dropped a lot. He dropped some touchdowns last week. I'm glad I didn't have him in my lineup. I was screamed.
I had Lamar Jackson in my lineup. And not Tom Brady. That's the league I got. Tom Brady and Lamar Jackson. I know. That's a good team I have.
Wait.
I have both of those in one league.
Yeah,
I know.
That's a tough one.
I haven't played the right one yet, Robert, by the way. 0. I haven't played the right one yet.
Detroit played some good defense. They played some good defense on Lamar Jackson. They made him work.
Right on. All right, moving on. MVS. He was my spike last week. I told you, I said I was going to ride him until he got the yardage. He had 1 catch, money. He was only to get 36 yards, so he caught a 45-yarder. Then he caught a touchdown, 15-yarder.
Yep.
Then he pulled up lame when they really needed him.
Of course he did.
Did you see him pull up lame?
He did.
Dude.
He did.
Devontae got his head knocked off. How did they miss that one, by the way? How about the refs in that game?
No
way that they wanted Green Bay to win that game. Right. No way they wanted Green Bay to win.
Well, hold on.
You didn't think so?
I
thought
I wanted Frisco. I had picked Frisco in the game,
okay.
So I was like, all right, go Frisco. How the hell did Devontae Adams not go into concussion protocol?
Oh.
That's what I was screaming at my house. My dog Jack was looking at me. Trish was looking at me like I'm crazy.
Put him in the blue tent.
Right. I was like, he got hit, and then he got hit in the helmet. He's laying on the ground, and they showed that shot of his eyes. And his eyes was like,
Yeah.
Where the hell am I? I go, ha. He's going into concussion protocol. He's out for this game.
That's horrible. Ha ha.
You know, ha. I'm sorry. Ha.
Were you facing him?
Yeah, well, I was Frisco to win.
All right.
And next play, he's out there. I went, concussion protocol.
Not a word since. Have you heard a word about it yet?
I've not heard a word about it. I'm the only person. Even if you don't have a concussion, you're still supposed to go into the protocol and make sure you don't have a concussion.
Right.
And they just said, let him go back in the game. I'm like, this is great. This is just great. And then, of course, we saw what happened.
And as you know, if you listened last week, I was bet Green Bay, which I did, one of my bigger bets, plus 3.5. And they won straight up. Thank you. I understand.
So I was like, wait, this makes no sense to me. But if it was my player, I'm sure he would have been in the tent.
Oh, right.
Under the protocol.
Mine would have had his tweed jacket on before.
Right. Before would have been wrapping his head. Here, put this on your head. Oh,
here's the
Devontae back in the game.
Having a snack in the locker room, kind of thing. That's my guy for sure.
All right,
although back to MVS.
Yeah, MVS. He's getting he's playing
4 targets though. Is the next highest after Devontae, dude. The next highest receiver was 4 targets in MVS. So everybody else got 2.
He's not getting a high volume.
But he can get you. He's a Ruggs. But here's what I liked about him adding him on my team. I liked that our man, Aaron Rodgers, you read the blurb, apologized. Again, MVS spent more time in the doghouse than the dog. Right?
Snoopy.
Exactly.
More time than Snoopy.
It makes me feel good about the second, going forward, not past. The past is gone. You talked me into getting him. Now I definitely want to keep him after I heard.
I think you can hold him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How about this guy? I'm putting this guy, if I don't get, a lot of these guys, I have MVS, so I can't get it. I'm taking this guy 1 week for sure. Nick Westbrook. Icon is his name. How about this? He's an IU boy.
Yep, he's IU.
That's my college.
University of Indiana.
6'2",
Hoosier.
211.
6'2", 211.
Undrafted.
Undrafted free agent.
We went
second year pro. He was been playing special teams. He was on the practice squad, and now A.J. Brown's banged up.
And Julio Jones also not practicing.
Julio's banged up.
He went 4 for 4 for 53 yards, got the touchdown, looked shifty.
Yeah.
Again, I'm always for the under. I like the underdog, undrafted guys anyway. But this could be a usage move, just out of the gate. It could be a temporary
week or two kind of move, but Tannehill's got to throw to somebody.
Nick Westbrook, Icon. He's got a hyphen. Icon, I think. How about Terrace Marshall back in the talk? I dropped him because the only thing I think that I saw last week, if you watched DJ Moore, went to the sidelines early, he's a little bit hurt. Robbie Anderson, I think he got 12 targets in 3 games or something.
5 catches in 3 games.
And 12 targets in 3 games, I think. Really bad.
Right. Very low.
Well, again, what did you expect? Darnold's not a deep down the field thrower.
I think Robbie Anderson will be a kind of a hold guy. I think that'll kind of switch around a little bit. I don't think that'll continue.
I think that Terrace Marshall has an opening here, though.
I do, because now without McCaffrey around and Chuba,
exactly,
they're going to probably throw the ball just a little bit more to those wideouts.
They're not going to want to give Chuba 30, right? Like they give McCaffrey.
Right.
And why the hell do they give McCaffrey 30 2 times? Give him, how about 25? I'm still mad about that.
I'm mad he pulled his hamstring.
Absolutely. All right,
nobody was near him.
AJ Green.
Green. Here we go.
Nuke is ailing, and the rest of the team is green. No pun intended. 2 weeks in a row, he was the top, 14, 15 points a game. I think how the heck here's what I made mine last week doing what I knew they were going to do. They were going to put Nuke out there, just run around, dude. We're not going to use you. Take some guys with you, and we'll get some guys. That's what they did. He was a decoy.
Yep.
So I bet him under everywhere, and I bet Rondale Moore over, of course, since I figured he was going to go crazy.
Rondale Moore just missed a jet sweep touchdown.
Okay.
They gave it to him. That rush he had, he got tackled at the half inch line.
Wait, that's typical me. Did you see?
Should have scored.
Did you see CeeDee Lamb's first catch?
Yes.
Was that the half-yard line?
Yep.
Same.
Rondale Moore should have had a touchdown, but obviously his volume, his catches weren't there. Should have had a touchdown.
How about let's move on. Tight ends. That's all been wide. Again, there's some other wideouts there if you want them. If Brian Edwards or something, Hunter Renfrow, Ruggs should be gone. Those kind of players you can put on. But let's look at a couple tight ends. If you passed on, didn't get Dalton Schultz, how about this one? Jonnu Smith was definitely the guy everybody wanted going in. But we have, again, the stats don't show it, but Hunter Henry's out-snapped Smith 100 snaps to 59.
Yep.
There's only one target difference, so there's that. But we expect, if you're on the field, sooner or later, those numbers should favor the one that's on the field versus not.
Right.
I got it. I didn't even spell his name wrong. That's how much I don't like him. Evan, did you notice? I spelled Mark Ingram. No, Evan Ingram. But I put Evan. Evan Ingram.
It is true.
Again, he broke my heart last year for about 9 weeks, and then he scored 6 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks, whatever it was. 39% owned. If he's out there, he's going to get targeted. That team is.
Well, you got Slayton and Shepard banged up,
and the Galladay's still sort of. He's back.
I don't know.
Barkley's on limited practice schedule.
I mean, they're talking about Kadarius Toney.
He's going to be in.
Number one pick they said he might be the slot receiver. Shepard can't go.
That's another one to mention. I forgot Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But now,
I read he's not ready. I read Toney's not ready.
Probably not. But and then you got Ingram. So Ingram by default, or us, everybody else falling off is going to be targeted.
Absolutely. All right, and last, again, O'Shaughnessy hurt. Dan Arnold. No more Darnold to Arnold. We get to lose it. That's what. Again, we got a new look. They've got some injuries over there at Jacksonville. They're going to throw the ball. If you're looking for a dart, maybe Dan Arnold. All right, I'm done. Keelers Keys.
I had a couple quick notes
that
I wrote down that I had in what Ron was saying.
Thank you.
Talking about Marlon Mack. They're talking about trading him.
I forgot. I was
talking about trading him. So he's probably on waivers in a lot of leagues.
I forgot Marlon Mack. Yes.
Pickup maybe if he goes to a team that is hungry for a running back.
Baltimore, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, Baltimore. You got a couple other teams that could use a secondary back. You tell me the Giants can use them, or
Carolina,
So maybe a speculative pickup for people out there when you got a roster spot and say, hey, guy's going to get traded to a team that's probably going to use them. So interesting.
Yep.
And then I wrote this down and I wanted to throw it into the show. There are 5 teams that attempted fewer passes than Baltimore Ravens. 5 teams. Do you know who they are? I'm going to tell you who they are.
Bears.
All right.
Let's see if I can guess.
That was a good one, Jaron.
Easy.
But no, you're right. The Bears, the Bengals, the Browns, the Saints, and the Seahawks. Our old friend Pete Carroll doesn't want to let Russell Wilson cook.
Nope.
But shows you there's a lot of teams that are running the ball. And if you look at some of those teams, there's a lot of disappointments. Lockett and Metcalf are kind of a disappointment for the Seahawks. The Saints have been up and down. Bears, we know about Allen Robinson's been kind of a bust. And the Browns, just not running. They're just not passing. They're running the ball. That's how they beat up on the Bears. Bears, boo.
Boo, so bad.
That was a bad game.
When they're this bad, this is when they force me to go out on Sundays because I only get the Bears game early. I don't pay for that crazy super duper ticket. So
Ron's like, if I gotta watch the Bears, I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
We used to back in the '80s, early '80s when they were on Channel 2. We used to hope that remember when they used to black out the home games? We hoped the Bears got blacked out so we could watch the different games.
Yeah, that's like
don't put the Bears out.
Don't sell your tickets. Nobody go.
Don't be a sellout. So we could watch a different game. We were like, ooh, it'd be much better to watch a different game than like watch Bob Avellini throwing passes out there.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Ooh, Bob Avellini. Yeah.
Neil Armstrong was coach.
Bob Avellini. Dude.
Walter Payton was like this. What am I doing here? The team is bad.
I think that sometimes Bob Avellini he would go sit down and wouldn't Peyton just I'll be quarterback.
For a while there they were doing they had Peyton was quarterback and he was like the
wishbone
or a wildcat before it was a wildcat.
The wishbone with one bone.
You're like, just let Peyton do it.
It was nuts. All right, let's move on. Keelers Keys. Speed it up. We got to speed it up. Keelers Keys. Great segment. Again, good last week, but we have some
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. We had, I don't remember. I think you went by 50%.
Yeah, Cordell Patterson we had in there.
Monster.
86
yards from receiver. Running
Dallas
back.
Goddard, who knew where Ertz was going to come?
Right.
Of course, right before the game, Ertz comes back.
Right, but Goddard got a couple good catches.
But the point,
right on.
We were hoping Goddard would have the job to himself. Ertz, let's go.
Right on. Keelers Keys, again, is a great segment where he's going to pick two. That's right, two players from each position part of fantasy football who are going to exceed their weekly average output this week based on a matchup or opportunity.
All right,
Take it away.
Here we go. Starting at quarterback to rank 24th this week, Jimmy Garoppolo. Our friend, pretty boy Garoppolo. He's playing Seattle.
I picked him a few times.
Yeah, I know, but they keep under-ranking him because he's put last week 25 of 40, 257, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had to come back against Green Bay. He looked pretty good in the fourth quarter there. Who are they playing this week? Our friends Seattle. Our friends Seattle do not like to play defense. They just don't. That's what's holding them back. They're 1-2.
Yeah.
And really, their defense is just a sieve. They have a sieve-like defense. Right now, they are allowing 440 yards per game, 285 in the air, 155 on the ground. I mean, Frisco's going to put up yards, and Garoppolo will probably be inside that top 20. He'll be in the two-quarterback league. He should be starting, especially because of the matchup against Seattle.
I love it.
All right. Next quarterback ranked 20th this week. He'll be inside the 20. Matt Ryan against our friends the Redskins. No, they're not the Redskins.
The
Washington football team.
WFT.
What the hell is that? Well, listen.
It's close to WTF, really, isn't it?
It is. Last week, Matt Ryan, 27-36, 243, 2 touchdowns against Giants. Our friends in Washington have been quite a disappointment on defense. Everybody had them as
top 4 at least.
Top 4, at least a top 10 defense going into the season.
0 sacks. The first time since the 1970s for Washington or something like that.
Right now,
they have 0 fantasy points.
Right now, the Washington D stat time. They're 29th versus the pass this year, allowing average per game 307. You can pass the ball against the Redskins. And Matt Ryan is going to have to throw the ball and put your Ridley in. Maybe this is the week Pitts puts the ball in the end zone, maybe.
What happened there? No targets till the fourth quarter. Oh, my God.
Let's hope so. And I think Matt Ryan's going to have a good game against the Redskins. I think you throw the ball against them. They cannot defend the pass. All right. And running back, I'm going to go a little deeper. We're going to go into deep end. Ranked 51st, Kenneth Gainwell from Philly. Now, you say last week, Robert, he had 1 carry for 2 yards.
They only had 3 carries.
They only had 3 total for the game, right?
How is that possible?
Yeah.
He's getting stats on that like that's the first time that that's ever happened in NFL history.
I cannot believe. Why wouldn't you run the ball? That's why, like you said, when we were watching Peyton Manning and Eli, they're like, what is exactly Philly's idea here? I mean, they did not have a very good game plan. I mean, 3 rushes. That sounds like Matt Nagy was running the team.
Yep.
But this week, this is why I got him ranked. I got him his perspective a little higher. He's playing our friends Kansas City, the Chiefs. Chiefs are 31st this year against the run, ranked 31st. They're allowing 160.3 yards per game on the ground. Their defense. How do you beat Kansas City? Run the ball. How do you run the ball? Well, you run the ball with your running backs and Hurts. So you figure if Kansas City's allowing an average of 160, and let's say Miles Sanders gets 60, let's say he gets 70 or 80, that still leaves at least another 70, 80 yards in there. I think the Eagle coaches are going to wake up. Maybe I should call them.
Yeah.
You got a phone?
I got one.
I should call them and say, look, dum-dums.
I'll play you in this scenario.
Hello, Eagles. Run the ball. You're playing the Chiefs. All right, great. So that's the point. I think Gainwell's going to have a flex appeal game. I think he'll get more usage this week. Somebody to take a look at. And then my second running back is somebody I think is going to break out. I think the Jets are going to get a little better. They can't be any worse. Michael Carter. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. He might be on waivers in some leagues because people are like, the Jets. He's ranked 37th this week. He had 9 carries, 24 yards. He had 2 catches for 5 yards, 3 targets. They're playing the Tennessee D. Stat time.
Stat time.
TNFZD is ranked 31st overall.
Not good.
They're not good.
Not good.
They're allowing 28 points a game, 259 through the air, over 110 through the ground. But the 28 points, they're allowing points. They're allowing people to score. I know the Jets have been challenged. Obviously, they've been very challenged scoring the ball. But I think Michael Carter's going to have that game where people, next week we're talking about him on waivers.
Interesting.
That's the guy we should be picking up because he's got nobody challenging him for carries. I mean, he got Ty Johnson, who's a boom, Coleman. I think Coleman's on a milk carton somewhere.
Yeah,
so I think Carter's going to take over that job. I think the Jets are going to be a little better than they've been showing. And I think they're going to get right. Their offense is going to get a little bit more right against a bad defense this week in Tennessee. So now now that we got 3 weeks under our belt, you're starting to look at these teams. You know, when you look at players, you're like, now we're starting to get trends on the defenses. We're starting to get who these teams are. Then we can match up against them. So already I've knocked down a bunch of defenses that you want to hammer a little bit about with the run, the pass. All right, let's go to wide receiver. I like Marvin Jones this week, ranked 28th. I think he's going to end up in the top 20 this week against the Bengals. He had 8 targets, 6 catches, 62 yards. They're playing the Bengal D. Like you said, the Bengal D is ranked 9th, but they played 2 very challenged passing attacks in the Bears and Pittsburgh. And when they faced the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, the first game, had 3-6. We're gonna. He's. I got a stat on him. Where's my stat on Kirk Cousins?
I don't want to break your steam. I don't want to break your steam.
No, you're not breaking it. We got to talk about. When I write things down, I like to talk about them.
I love Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. I wrote this down somewhere. Here we go.
He's a winner.
He's averaging 29.5 fantasy points per game, averaging nearly 30 fantasy points per game. That makes him the QB5. Right now, he's top 5 quarterback in fantasy football. So, yeah, people talk yik about Kirk Cousins, but he's getting the job done.
All right, Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones, I think he scores this week. I know they're playing the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals are the 9th-ranked defense overall in football. I think they've just been facing 2 powder puff passing attacks.
Sure.
This week, I guarantee Marvin Jones spikes the ball on Thursday Night Football. I think Jacksonville is going to put up some points. I think we know Lawrence will turn the ball over, but I think he's still been throwing the ball downfield. Coach, still showing some life.
Coach says, let's see what James Robinson's got, and guess what he's got? He's got something for you. He had a monster game.
Right. They had James Robinson. I think Jacksonville, put some points up, moved the ball around. They turned it over. They were actually winning that game until they were losing. They lost that stupid. They
ran back a kick.
Ran back the kick, and then they had the lead, and they were all like, and then it fell apart in the fourth quarter. But I think Marvin Jones spikes the ball. He's top 20 wide receiver this week. My second receiver I'm putting with Garoppolo, Brandon Ayuk, that ranked 38 this week.
How far we've dropped. Oh, my. He was a number 2.
Right. 6 targets, 4 for 37. He rushed 1 for 8, and he ran 1 in. We talked about the defensively challenged Seahawks. I think Frisco's going to put up a lot of yards. I think they're going to throw the ball. I think they're going to run the ball. I think Seattle can't fix this. They can't fix their defense. 285, like I said, through the air they're allowing. 155 on the ground. I think Frisco throws the ball. I think Ayuk has a good game. He's ranked 38th. I think that's too low this week. We're going to move on to our tight ends. The guy who had a really good game last week for Miami is ranked 15th this week.
Oh, Mike
Gesicki. 12 targets, 10 catches, 86 yards. He fits into the Brissett mindset where he's not throwing the ball downfield. He's working the ball. He was looking for Gesicki all game. I think if Brissett starts again, which he's going to do the same thing. So Gesicki has a big game. They're playing Indy. Indy defense has been 233 through the air, 141 on the ground, 26.7 points per game. Just
that's a lot, I guess.
Like a top, bottom of the 25. They're 25 to 30. So they're just not a good defense this year. And I think Miami put some points up. Brissett in a little revenge game against his old buddies. He knows the team. I think Gesicki has a good game, 15th. And then 16th, our guy Tyler Conklin for Minnesota. 8 targets, 7 for 70, a touchdown. Cleveland, where are they ranked? Stat time. Where are they ranked against tight end? They're 29th overall. They're 29th overall, allowing fantasy points to tight ends. Cleveland can't cover the tight end all year. Tight ends have been doing them wrong. I think Conklin does them wrong again.
Boom.
Boom. And he's 16th.
Nicely done, as always. Keelers Keys is a monster for
Let's hope.
behind the lines. Go get him, Robert. I do a lot of these for the dailies.
Yeah.
I think it's really a great way to fill out your roster if you want to pay up for Kyler Murray or
Josh Allen,
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Travis Kelce.
All right, guys, we're going to take our quick break to thank our sponsors, including who we started with Jeff Detlow from Springer Realty. We'll be right back with a few streamer Ds and QBs for you, and then we're going to get into our game-by-game analysis and get to our wagers and survivors. 9-9 in the season, not bad. Again, we usually start
considering that most experts are below 500 and all the underdogs have been covering.
Right.
All the experts, you name me an expert who isn't under 500 right now. They all are.
Us.
Oh, us. Yeah, there you go.
I say we're experts.
No, but definitely other people are under 500. They're like, man, the underdogs are just covering it.
You got it. We'll be back. Be right back.
Since 1964, Springer Realty has been helping homeowners save thousands when buying or selling their home. Springer Realty is locally owned, provides full service start to finish, and will handle all the paperwork and details. Why pay those high commissions in a seller's market when one phone call can literally save you thousands? Visit us at SpringerSellsHomes.com or call 219-838-0180. Springer Realty.
Looking for a friend who knows how to be a good listener? Humane Indiana in Munster has four-legged friends waiting to meet you. Open daily at 11 a.m., Humane Indiana provides many animal services from rescue to daily care. They provide on-site education while managing a wildlife preserve. At the main facility located at 421 45th Street, the staff awaits your visit. Ron Harlow Media would like to thank Director Brian Fitzpatrick and Board Vice President Scott Filler from Apex Construction and Remodeling for their support. Visit Humane Indiana and leave with a new member of the family. To find out more, visit the Humane Indiana website or dial 219-922-3811.
Baxter Printing is a family-owned and operated union print shop that has been serving Lake County, Indiana for over 50 years. They specialize in commercial and political printing like brochures, mailings, banners, and signs. Now located at 311 North Broad Street in Griffith, the folks at Baxter know how to get your job done right and on time. Call 219-923-1999 or visit us at BaxterPrint.com and see what Baxter Printing can do for you.
Face it, when it comes to buying a home, you want a local mortgage lender who has the answers when you need them. In this fast-paced housing market, when is now. And your lender is Christine Reiser from Loan Depot. Her years of well-rounded experience, including time as a realtor, will put your stress to rest. Call Christine Reiser at 219-789-8313. Christine is available days, nights, and weekends to take you from pre-approval to loan closing. For a conventional mortgage, FHA, VA, USDA, or if you need help with down payment assistance programs, she's got you covered. Dial 219-789-8313 if you're looking to buy a home in Indiana, Illinois, or Arizona. Let Christine Reiser and Loan Depot be your guide. NMLS number 1447958.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hey, Harlow here, Keys here, rocking out for you. Ready to give you guys a great second half of the show. As always, thanks to all of our great sponsors for providing us the opportunity to bring all this great stuff to you guys. All right, let's get to our game-by-game. I'm sorry, streamers. Streamers, Ds, and QBs. All right, we've got. I start with the defenses. I think the people more often streaming defenses than QBs. But with Marshawn Lattimore back, I've been chasing Danny Dimes a little bit. Still no pick, I guess. But
keeps fumbling.
Yeah, he does.
But he actually hasn't thrown as many interceptions you would have expected. So
a lot of this team's injured, and I think the Saints Steve will do well. Again, Bengals, Jags. Lawrence, least accurate passer in the league by a large margin. As well as we got to go to the Jet Streamers, right? We got to go Jet Streamers, of course. Tennessee versus the scoreless last week Jets.
No.
I hate to say it again. Tennessee can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
If the Jets score 28, we know Tennessee's
They're in big
bad
trouble.
I am rooting for the Jets hard though because I got Corey Davis. But all right, QBs: Darnold versus Dallas. I think Darnold's a little further along than Jalen Hurts. Although Jalen Hurts, surprisingly good, even in bad games. He's got a stronger arm. Again, we know that Dallas, they put a hurting on Philly. They made him look. They made him look like they weren't even any good at all.
That was not a good game for Philly. No.
That was not. So I think that again, I like Darnold's weapons. I like.
Absolutely.
They're 3-0. They're not going to stop throwing now. And I think we got Bridgewater versus a beat up Baltimore's D. I'm not afraid of Baltimore's D. There's times like, I don't want to play this or that. I'm not. That's a team and Pitt right now. Those defenses. I'm back to the original thing. I don't think there's just there's no defenses worth chasing at all anymore ever.
There's not those defenses you go, well, I can't play my guys against that.
Maybe New England. What's his name always seems to do it.
Yeah.
Belichick always seems to do it.
But like this week, are you going to play the Tampa Bay?
Right.
Right. You're going to play Tampa Bay. I mean, you're going to play your guys. You got to put your guys in. Don't worry about all that. There's no Revis Island anymore.
There is none. I mean, what's funny is all the great corners and they're all old now. Who's the new young guy?
Or even when
young names.
Yeah, or even when the teams have good cornerbacks, they play the cover 2. They play zone. They don't man up. Everybody's afraid to man up because you man up, there's chance of a big play breaking out behind you, and all these coaches are so scared. Bend don't break, give up yards. You look at the total yardage that these teams are putting up on offense, it's incredible. It's got to be historically high, the yards per game for offenses.
And let me take it a little step further. Yet how surprising are you when it's a huge play, pass downfield, PI every time? Every time.
Every time.
They won't let themselves get burnt. I don't know.
Will not let it go. Anybody get behind them. I mean, we don't see
rip
those.
Them down. I mean,
we don't see those 70, 80, 90-yard touchdown passes anymore.
No, we don't.
You don't?
All right, let's get into it. Tomorrow, very special day. My wife and I's wedding anniversary, 26. And I've invited her to watch Sunday Night Football. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, my dear wife. I'm gonna be watching this game. I'm gonna be watching this game at midnight, probably. But we do want to talk about it again. This looks like a very fantasy relevant for a 46-point total.
Yes.
I think because there's a very narrow group of guys to play here. Yep. I mean, are you playing Chenault yet? Maybe not. DJ Chark yet? Maybe not. We love Marvin. We love Marvin with James Robinson's time to go. Yeah. Mixon's in. Without T. Higgins, the other two guys got to play.
Boyd and our friend Chase.
Chase, man. I almost wish I didn't watch anything. God,
you wish you didn't know all the misses, the drops.
Here's what I think about this year. All the idiots that didn't study are crushing because they got all.
Yeah, they're just like, this guy. I didn't know he was dropping passes.
I'll take this Mike Williams. I mean, that's a very boring name, Mike Williams. We'll just take some Mike Williams guy. Number one wideout 2 weeks already.
Yeah,
Mike Williams. Wow, insane. But that's about all your guys there. You're not chasing those defenses. I'm not picking up Bengals D and playing them. I just like the Bengals.
I think this will be kind of a 30 to 27 game.
Yeah, I think it's definitely over.
Definitely over.
That's the one bet I'm making. I'm not going to bet on anything but the
I think there's going to be some points.
All right, the biggest number of the year so far, 16. That's a college game. Recency bias here for sure after the 35 nacho, whatever they threw up for a while against Jacksonville last week. Against Houston, I don't know who you're playing on Houston. Cooks?
Cooks.
I
guess.
Yeah. I'm not. I have never a guy that's going. I remember back in the day, for a while there, the NFL had such great parity that you couldn't cover 7 in the NFL. You could not. Nope. Anytime it was 7, the dog covered every time. I mean, it would be rare.
You always took the points.
Now this week we've got some huge numbers: 7s, 8s. 6. Right, this is the 16.
Yep.
Buffalo.
A lot of 7 pluses.
I got to throw an apology out to my friend Dave, who I told to drop Zach Moss. He's a bum. He's terrible. Well, again,
a little inconsistent.
But yeah.
I mean,
passing. That was his one receiving touchdown of his career. I was going to say of the season, of his career.
Plus, you don't know.
Kidding.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Moss and him and Singletary are splitting. It would just happen to be one of those games where Moss got
He was right, though. He's right. There's too little at running back to drop a guy like Zach Moss. He was exactly right.
I mean, there's too much. Yeah.
There just is. Yep. But are you playing him? Yeah. After he's got 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, Zach Moss.
Yeah, I'd play him. I mean, you got to play him.
Against Houston.
They're playing Houston. They're going to be running the ball in the third and fourth quarter.
How about the 16-point line with an over-under of 47? I think they're looking Houston to score 3.
Yeah, that's not a lot of points expectation on the Houston. So
yeah, I don't see
Buffalo's going to be
right on. Again, you're playing everybody. Yeah, what do you think about Sleeper and Dawson Knox this week? Had a good week. Was that a spike? A mini spike? Again, I've heard some guys say he's a good.
Same thing last year.
Okay.
He had a couple of those games where you're like, is this
real?
Time?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, this is his 3rd or 4th year. I mean, he just hasn't been consistent. So.
Well, again, offensive wise, you could do worse than having a Buffalo Bill in your lineup.
You could do a lot worse.
Right. All right. Let's move on. Cleveland, Minnesota. Again, after just a waxing, that was a bloodbath last week, and
the Bears were just never challenging in that game. You never felt like, Cleveland might have to. Right. And they were like.
They made Chubb look a little bit human, I guess. That's about all they did.
The first half, the Bears were tackling. They were definitely in the game, and then the second half, they just wore down. They were on the field forever.
Right.
The Bears' offense could not hold the ball. I don't know what the time of possession was, but had to be quite in the favor of Cleveland.
This is that week when we're going to go, this is my OBJ week, Robert. Is this an OBJ week? It's Minnesota. We know that they got to keep I think Minnesota wins again, by the way. I think they beat them.
Minnesota wins this game.
I agree with you.
When I pick my point spreads, I'm taking Minnesota.
I appreciate you saying I almost did too. But I wanted to let you have them. I go, Robert, go pick Minnesota. Yeah. On the other side, great. Any word on Dalvin? Mattson, great plug and play by me last week. Still wasn't enough, but Mattson had a really good game.
He had a good game. He had a couple long runs.
And great receiving.
Great receiving numbers.
Stats.
I have not seen an update on Cook. If what is today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Take a look if he practices tomorrow or Friday.
Weird though. Like nothing out of Cook
or Josh
Jacobs. Or Josh Jacobs.
Not a lot of work. No.
Nope. We like the every week that you read it's the week to sit Adam Thielen, just tell him to stick it. All right? Just tell him to stick it. Again, he's a sit again this week because of blah blah blah.
We just talked about Kirk Cousins. He's the QB5 right now.
You got to play.
I mean, you got to play Thielen and you got to play Jefferson. Come on.
Great catch last week.
Come on.
Must. All right, moving on.
Great game.
Detroit, Chicago. Boy, for a crappy team, Detroit certainly seemed to figure out a way to balance out 2 running backs. Exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Jamal with a nice touchdown. Swift's doing it. My man, 2 for 20. TJ, what happened there? Did you watch any of that game?
I did not. I watched a little bit of it. I mean, Baltimore was taking him out of the game. And taking out Goff looking downfield, so he was just looking for the running backs and
like he's been doing. Yeah, that's his game. But hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, I mean, Hawkinson had the game that unless you're Kelsey, you can't. Those tight ends have those games, those 2 catch, 3 catch games,
right?
And you got to keep playing your top 10.
I'm all over him. He's great. Right. Chicago, Montgomery. I'm not playing Mooney. Do we know who's going to play quarterback yet?
We do not know. They said
it could be Nick Foles.
Nagy said, I got to see how both guys look in practice, and I'll make a decision.
I say, put Nick Foles out there. Give him a try. Everybody gets a turn. Like a round robin. Say the next 3 weeks, everybody's going to get a turn. Dalton's healthy, so he'll be the 3rd guy.
Hey, you know what? Like we talked about, right? Nagy, 2 RPOs. 2 rollouts on 30 dropbacks for Fields. I don't know what is he thinking.
I'm not playing. I mean, Montgomery's it. The rest of that team can go stick it. Maybe Bears D, but Goff is playing pretty steady.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it feels like Detroit's defense played better than the Rams' defense for Goff for some reason. Why is that?
I don't know.
Because Goff had to play crazy to keep in the games for sometimes, right?
Detroit had Baltimore on the run. They were hitting Lamar Jackson. They were not letting him get out loose. I mean, that defense did not play a bad game last week. They played a good game.
I think that they're going to win.
Yeah, you think they're going to win?
They're 2.5 here. I got the 3. I bet them early. Tennessee Jets. What's going on? All right, Is Mika Becton this whole roster? As soon as they lost Mika Becton, the Jets have been a team they're back to their old Adam Gase ways, Robert. 0 points. I think
they are.
Wilson's he's running for his life. No time in the pocket. You don't get to see a lot of stats from them because why would you show that on
not
TV?
very accurate. I mean, he's just
Elijah Moore's hurt. Crowder's hurt. They don't running game. But maybe Carter's going to come on because they got to do something. You're right. At this point, that's a very astute call, I think. When you got 0, you might as well start seeing what you got. You just draft this kid, get him in there.
Yep.
Carter.
So I think
Corey Davis. Give me some Corey Davis left. No? Still benchy?
I mean, right now, until Zach Wilson shows.
Yeah. Even on Tennessee's D. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you can start these guys.
I hear you. I'm with you. Yeah. I was the guy saying don't sleep on the Jets. And, again, that's because of their upgrades at the offensive line. Then, bam, they lost their best one.
They have not been bad defensively. It's just they have not been moving. They have not been moving the ball
at all. Tennessee, we're liking the kid Westbrook, Icon at wideout. If the other guys don't go, we're going to both suggest you play Derrick Henry.
I think it's a go.
My one joke on that for the whole season.
I say it's a go.
Obviously, with those missing, I think. And even though it's the Jets, if you got somebody else,
really gonna lean on Henry.
Yeah, if you got somebody else, Tannehill's probably not throwing 40 balls in this game.
He is not.
Probably not. No. So that's a sit there if you can.
Yep.
Fade, we say. Colts, Miami. Colts defense not that great. I don't even know his picks. I might even bet he took Miami. I don't know yet.
I did not take Miami.
I think the Colts are a Jonathan Taylor, and that's all. Right
now, Carson Wentz, They let him play with his 2 sprained ankles, and he really
sprained his wrist. Just kidding.
He sprained my eyes.
Yeah,
my eyes were sprained watching him play. My God. Obviously he's banged up. I mean, he's a banged up quarterback. His offensive line's banged up. Quentin Nelson, his top offensive lineman, left the game, and he's probably not going to play this week. So, like we were talking about with the Jets, your banged up offensive line equals pressure equals no quarterback play. And the Colts they look like one of those teams that might be the disappointment this year.
Yeah, second lowest over under the board at 42.5. And let's look at the other side of the ball. I like Waddle this week.
Yeah.
I would like Gesicki. What about Gas? Again, how about it last week? Did you note Malcolm Brown got the start, got the 30-yard rush.
And then in the second half, Gaskin came on.
And in overtime.
He looked dynamic. He was getting the ball. Boom.
He finally shook some heads.
Shook some heads.
I think he's worth a play this week.
I think he
based on last week's effort.
Absolutely.
All right.
Malcolm Brown was kind of plotting, but there was a hole.
It was big. It was
a huge hole. He didn't look that fast.
No,
but he obviously found the hole. I think Gaskin's the back to go there, and I think Miami could put it on I think the Colts are in trouble this year.
I do too.
I think they're just not. T.Y. Hilton's hurt. Wentz is playing. You know what I can't stand? I can't stand a guy who's so banged up that he can't play. Like, if you were the coach, what percentage of efficiency or performance would you have to have out of a guy to say you're going to start even though you're hurt?
Right. How bad is the backup got to be?
75, 80%, 70. If a guy's 50-50, do you want him to play? I don't understand. Oh, he's going to gut it out and play. He plays like crap. What was the use of that?
There's only one Michael Jordan.
There's only one MJ. We're going to establish that. Number one. But, I mean, if a guy's 50-50, I could go about 50%. I'm like, you need to go to the bench. I mean, we got a better shot with the other guy, I think. Eason. I mean, I'd rather have 100% Eason than a 50% Wentz. I mean, you could see last week he was hurt. And you hurt the team, especially at the quarterback position, if you can't move around. You can't throw. But that's just me.
Earn your maybe they're saying earn your paycheck, I guess.
I mean that's beautiful, but if you're hurting the team, just go sit down.
I agree. All right, Kansas City. Why don't you take over Kansas City, Philly right now? Because I'm gonna look and see if there's any questions. I forgot to look at halftime.
You got the Kansas City team. I mean,
what else you got there?
Yawn. We're gonna play our CEH.
Right.
We're gonna play Tugo. We're gonna play Kelsey. We're gonna play Mahomes.
Not Kansas City's D.
Not play the Kansas City D. They like to allow points. They're not good. But I mean, Kansas, like we said, Kansas City's season is teetered on a couple plays. They could be 3-0. They could be 0-3. That once again, they don't like to cover spreads. So Philly's getting 7.5. Interesting. Wink, wink. But and then on the Philly side, you're gonna play your Miles Sanders. You're gonna play your Hurts. You're gonna at the receiver position. Just so many mouths and people.
Did you see the stat? Smith and Rager literally have the almost exact same yardage, catches. They each have one touchdown.
I saw that Ward guy. They wheel him out. They reel out why? They reel out the Hurts. Ertz and Goddard. They just got so many people in and out on that team. I don't think anybody's got a high percentage of the snaps on that team. So.
Hello to Tricia and Larry, who have been being fun and facetious on our page.
Hey.
Fred Mertz reference. I'm guessing what was he talking about? Ertz and Mertz.
Ertz and Mertz. But yeah, Philly, I mean, you're going to play Hurts. You're going to play Miles Sanders. I think Gainwell got some flex appeal.
Yeah.
I think you're going to run the ball against Kansas City. You take the air out of Mahomes' ball. How do you do that? Run the ball. Obviously, teams have been doing it against Kansas City. They're allowing an average of 160 yards on the ground. I hope the Philly coaches wake up and say, that's probably not a bad idea. So.
Is Goddard and Ertz still cannibalizing each other?
They're cannibalizing each other. Like I said, I had Goddard in the Keelers Keys because I thought Ertz wasn't going to play.
Yeah, right.
Like literally before game time, we're like, we're going to get Ertz back in there. I'm like, oh, great.
And everybody was running to the wire to go with Goddard this week too.
Oh,
I agree.
My God.
Crazy.
Anyway.
Washington, Atlanta. Washington road favorite 1.5. Boy, Atlanta getting no love after a win last week. What does Washington have? Maybe you got Atlanta. I don't know. This looks like a crazy. Washington's front seven stopping the run, can't stop the pass.
Can't stop the pass.
Heineke, he's limited.
Guy.
Curtis Samuel. We forgot to mention Curtis Samuel's on his way back, but not with Heineke. He's probably not.
Right. Well, they said Fitzpatrick's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, I thought it was 8, so at least. So.
Yeah, at least it's probably to the halfway point. So you might as well just accept the fact whatever's happening is going to keep happening with the Redskins. I think they're playing Atlanta, not a dynamic defense. I think they'll move the ball. I think Heineke will have a good game. I think you still can play your Logans, your Terrys.
How about the JDs?
Gibson.
How about the JDs and McKissics?
You can play the McKissick. I mean,
as a flex option.
Yeah, probably left flex. I mean, he's a little inconsistent with the catches. I mean, they had the one good game. Then last game, Gibson caught that screen pass.
Yeah, 70.
There he went.
Oh.
And then, I think McKissick has some flex appeal, especially with all the guys banged up at running back.
Gage still hurt. Mike Davis still good usage, but Cordell spikes with 8 catches for 86
he's still doing
yards.
his thing. I mean. Everybody's like, I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe what's happening. Well, believe it.
I think you play him. I mean,
you play him.
People are looking at me weird when I say I picked him up. I'm not even going to pick him up. I'm going to play him.
You got to put him in. I mean, he's RB2 right now. I mean, you tell me he's better RB2.
Usage, baby. Usage is the key.
And catches.
Right on. Giants, New Orleans. Giants plus. I had him plus 8. This is 7.5. So even
7.5.
I'm gonna say 8 when I get my wages.
Saints finally playing a home game
in their actual home stadium.
In their stadium, so it's interesting. I mean, and Giants going on the road into the dome. That's the place gonna be rocking.
I agree, but man, I think they're a Kamara injury away from getting their butts kicked by the Giants. Giants don't have the worst defense.
Giants don't have a horrible defense. Kamara, yeah, I mean. The Giants.
He's averaging 4.5 carries. Yes, with 4.5 yards a carry.
He's really carrying the Saint offense.
Yes, he is. So. Giants wise again. We got Ingram as a sleeper. We got how about this? Someone got sick and then I didn't want him, but someone got sick of him and dropped Kenny Galladay last week.
I don't care about Kenny.
I agree. I'm like. I don't have him on my list. I don't even have him on my list. I got Icon, but not Galladay. Is that scary?
It is. I mean, if Galladay was, I like Galladay when he wasn't signed to a long-term contract.
You don't really want to.
You don't want to play.
They're not going to win anything.
They're not going to win anything. He's doing exactly what I thought he would do. Like not play half the time. When he does, it's like.
The rest are. I mean, Shep did what he can't do. Got hurt in the first half on you. Sorry, guys.
Got hurt.
He's going to do that. Watch that. Barkley, good game. Hey, he's going to get the usage. take a look at Booker. I mean, again, long term, if you haven't got him and you've got Barkley, I don't know what you're doing. You better have Devontae Booker. All right, on the other side, Saints-wise, Callaway shows up with the highest target share, only 41 yards and a touchdown. Not much about anybody else. I mean, that's why I think I have the Giants betting this. The Saints are just schizo. Their quarterback can't get yardage.
Well,
they don't need yardage because the defense crushes.
The first game they were great. The second game they weren't great. The third game they were so-so.
Yeah.
So which same team are we going to get?
Right.
Which Winston are we going to get? They're not. We talked about they're throwing the ball. They're throwing the ball less than Baltimore is right now. So it's obvious Sean Payton sees the limitations on Winston, saying, maybe I don't want this guy throwing 45 times a game.
Over under 42, lowest of the season, I think, so far. And
not a big one.
Probably one that you should look at.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Carolina at Dallas. How about it? 3-0. Carolina didn't play anybody. They're 4.5 points. I have them at 4-point dogs on the road at Dallas. The Monday night winner. Balanced attack out of Dallas. They have every chance in my mind, I'm not kidding you, to go the route if their defense, if this Trey Diggs and whatever they have can stay together. The balance on offense was a pleasure to see, even though I have Dak.
It's a pleasure to see.
It's nice to see both running and passing in the same game.
I know, because the game before, Dallas ran the ball up the yin-yang against the Chargers. And we were like, what's Prescott doing? This is finally the balanced game, because the first game when they played Tampa was all throwing. This was definitely the Dallas balanced game. I think this is the game Dallas would love to emulate all the rest of the season. It's kind of balanced. You run the ball, you pass the ball, everybody looks good.
Carolina's D did look good, but we're big bounce backs for CeeDee Lamb and Coop, I think, even though Schultz I like.
Yep.
We like everybody on
Carolina.
I
like how they use Elliott and Pollard. I mean, if you have out Elliott, you're like, okay, I like the goal line. I like that they're kind of using them, but they're spotting them with Pollard.
And Elliott's playing like,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like, this guy's coming up my butt.
Well, motivation. I mean,
Did you see the one awesome where he cut inside and literally ran backwards out of that cut and then ran the other direction?
I mean,
I thought that was awesome.
He was running hard. Both backs were running hard. I think they really out-physicaled Philadelphia. Dallas was really out-physicaled Philly in that game.
I want to pick Dallas, but I just think Carolina's got something this year. I wanted to bet them. I wanted to bet. I want to watch that
dynamic going. I mean, they got good
and we like Rivera.
They got a solid team.
Good coach.
And they said Carolina has the second most first or second year players in the league. They're very young defense. You said they're very young team.
So they don't know they're supposed to lose.
They don't know that we're not supposed to be 3-0.
Okay.
I mean, they got a young team. They don't have a bunch of old veteran types. So you like to see that. So they've been drafting, and they got the new coach, and he's been putting his, getting his players in there.
Rock and roll. So. Arizona at the Rams. Henderson in.
Arizona at the Rams.
Everybody in, I guess.
Last year, the Rams put it on Arizona. They know to get Kyle Murray. It's up the middle and around the edges. Keep him in the pocket. It'll be interesting.
For a team that's scoring like that to be 4.5-point dogs is still, to me, that's a lack of respect. Maybe you're onto something there. That McVay's got a plan, and that plan is going to be foreseen. So you're saying temper yourself with Zona, but you're going to play all your Rams guys.
You're going to play your Rams, right?
To Higbee, you're not stopping Cup.
Arizona's defense ain't nothing special.
Yeah,
they play Jacksonville, which
sleeper alert. Deshaun Jackson for a deep one this week again. Maybe you never know.
He was right past that dude. Zoom.
Yeah, it was nice to see.
Zoom.
Seattle. I think Chris Carson with a nice, a balanced game with some yardage and a touchdown. We're good there. We like that without Gerald Everett, who's their third option now? Swain. Freddie Swain? Some guy.
Hold on. Yeah, Swain and they got
Disley still? No. Wait,
they still got Disley and they got some young guy. I don't think it matters.
Right on. And then San Fran, what are we doing at running back? Trey Sermon gets a touchdown, but again, did not look good with the chance.
Great. I mean, if Mitchell's healthy, he probably gets.
Would you play him?
60-70%, yes.
You playing Elijah Mitchell if he plays?
Yes.
I agree.
I think they're playing Seattle. You're going to get, like we talked about, a lot of yards.
Yes.
You could run the ball and you could pass the ball.
And I mean, Mattson don't get much playing time, and he looked like a Hall of Famer against them last week. Debo, Yay, Kittle. I mean, all those guys.
Ayuk.
Yeah.
My guy Ayuk.
Ayuk's on the Keelers Keys this
He's
week.
on the Keelers Keys.
Grab him. All right, Baltimore against Denver. Again, is this the
interesting game?
It is. Denver, they keep saying Jets, Jags, Giants. That's all Denver's played. We get it. But it wasn't like we thought they had a bad D going in. We thought that their guys were back. Von Miller is back. Their Chubb guy's hurt, though. He's a pretty good defender. They lost him. Yep. So that's a thing. How are you with this dynamic this week? Again, over under 45. That's a slap in the face for a Baltimore team that's supposed to be,
Well, and then Denver team, too. I think some points are going to get put up. You Baltimore, you probably play Hollywood. He was getting behind people. He just couldn't catch the ball.
Gosh.
They could have easily blown out Detroit last week. And anybody who bet Baltimore to cover probably is weeping somewhere because they were like could have put up so many points. They kept dropping the ball. They kept making mistakes.
Sammy Watkins, Ty Williams.
Yeah,
Ty Williams back to the. I got to run the.
You got to run the ball.
It wasn't like he had 20 carries and did something. He had like 7 carries. Lamar led the team in rushing and rushes. Yep. It's like they didn't even go. Similar to Philadelphia. What's up? Our team that runs didn't give somebody 10 carries. That's just weird to me. Very weird.
I think it was weird. That Detroit game was weird. Detroit was like selling out to stop the run. They would not let Baltimore run the ball. They were like, if you're going to beat us, pass. And then they tried to pass, and they kept dropping the ball. So, I mean, I think you're going to run. I think Baltimore will go back to their running ways. I think Tyson Williams will have at least 10, 15 touches.
Right on. So, Pittsburgh, Green Bay. Pittsburgh coming off a horrible loss. Najee Harris, 19 targets. He's all right. He's going down. I don't want anybody to get hurt, but a guy that this early getting that kind of work on a horrible offensive line, his head's going to be turned wrong. His body's sideways once. He's going to get knocked around. I would try and move Najee Harris if I had him, but he is doing pretty well for 2 of the 3 weeks so far.
Yes.
Obviously
he's gotten some sort of. He's surprisingly caught more balls than I expected, so it's keeping him relevant.
Freiermuth a touchdown. Any love for again? That's all Big Ben can throw. Freiermuth without sleeper maybe without those wideouts.
Yeah,
I forgot to say Pat Freiermuth.
Juju's out.
Yeah, Juju's out.
And Dante Johnson might not play. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so
and
that
then
might
you
be
got Claypool and you got Najee and the tight end. So.
That's it.
And a Big Ben standing there.
That's why we have
waiting for somebody to come hit him.
That's why we're about to get to wages where we have Green Bay. MVS plays.
Yep.
In. This is not the same Pittsburgh D.
Not the same D.
I don't need to tell you about the other 3 guys in that team that you're going to play and the others you're not. Yeah. Tampa Bay, New England. We talked about the running game in great deal on both sides. Nothing there, but I think Antonio Brown scores this week. Gronk for sure is scoring this week.
If Gronk plays, he's scoring in New England. Are you kidding?
Bet Gronk gets the first catch of the game. Bet Gronk gets the first catch of the game. That's what's going to happen.
You know him and Brady want to go boom and go. Yeah.
What else is going to happen? What else is going to happen on that field when Brady goes to Gronk? On the enemy, they're not going to be enemies anymore, Robert. They're going to be, there's my guy, and there's my guy.
Those people in Boston are nuts.
They're going to love them still. All right.
So crazy.
Last game.
Yeah.
Vegas. Chargers. Vegas getting some Monday Night love. I love it.
Yeah.
I liked it early on until Derek Carr is still a little bit injured. Chargers defense is for real. There's a defense we didn't talk about that's actually been doing it on a game-by-game basis.
That was one of my sleeper Ds going into the season.
Herbert looking like, again, the numbers aren't there. The touchdowns aren't there. The couple turnovers he had in the one game against Dallas have cost him a little bit. I think he had one week 1 as well, but 4 tutties, beat Kansas City, had to beat them with the one last drive. That's a great way to end. play. Who we playing? Peyton Barber. What's his name?
Jacobs is out. Barber's in.
I think Ruggs might be a play. Ruggs might be a play now.
I mean, Ruggs and Edwards and Waller. You never know who's going to be the volume guy. But when the guy's averaging 400 a game, somebody got to catch the ball.
What decision making by the LA Chargers? Even on it was 4th and 4, and they were going for it.
Yep.
A false start. They said, "Screw it, we're still going," and they got it.
Yep.
What was it? Of course, PI. Never. Big play. What is it? Pass interference.
Always pass interference.
And they go and they score the touchdown.
And they scored a touchdown, beat the Chiefs on the road. I mean, that was a huge game. Chargers got a good team. We talked about Herbert. They got the passing game. They got a good defense because Bosa and Darwin James, who were out last year, now back. So we talked about the D. I mean, the Chargers got a sneaky good team. And that division, are the Raiders that much better than the Chargers? No. Chiefs got problems. Denver,
yeah.
Are they going to be?
I'm with you. It's a good division. It's a
good division
of fantasy guys.
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers are going to be a factor. So.
Rocka. All right, we got 5 more minutes to get back to our survivors. We're still in both ends survivors.
We're still alive.
We're probably going to pick the same this week, is my guess. We both have. I'll do my Buffalo. I have as my survivor. Everybody can have them plus -16. My bets, I don't think that the Bears are in any situation to be favored against any team in the NFL right now. I will take Detroit plus the 3. With an over-under of 42 or whatever it is, literally the Giants maybe got to get to 2 touchdowns, and they cover the 8, I think, in this game. I'm taking Giants plus the 8. Get it at 8 if you can. And I'll take Green Bay, like I did last week, to win by more than a touchdown, -6.5.
Nice.
Versus Pitt. Please take it away.
Like it. I'm with Ron. Last week I had Denver. They won, so we're live in Survivor. I'm taking Buffalo this week. I like the Buffalo pick. So hopefully we'll go 4-0 on the Survivor. My game's against the spread. I like Minnesota getting 2 at home against Cleveland. I just looked at Cleveland. They're great. They played the Bears, beat their ass at Cleveland, but I think Minnesota at home, I think Minnesota's not getting any love. There's 2 weeks in a row they're home dogs.
I agree. I thought hard about that one.
What is that about? I like the way they played last week. They pretty much dominated.
Gave up a first touchdown, then just whacked it right down.
I dominated the rest of the game. I like Minnesota. I like Kirk Cousins, the way he's playing. My second game, I like tomorrow night. I like Jacksonville getting 7.5 against the Bengals. I think the Bengals win this game, but I think Jacksonville covers. I think this is a 3-4 point game. I think Bengals are going to win, but I think Jacksonville shows some offense, and I think Marvin Jones scores. I think Robinson's, I don't think Lawrence has played horrible. I know he's turned the ball over, and I don't believe in
a few of those went,
right. I don't believe in the 9th-ranked Bengal defense. I think this is a 27-24 game type thing, maybe a 24-20-21 game. I like getting the 7.5 on Thursday. All these games are big. If you look at the first 3 weeks, all competitive games.
Last drive win it. Really.
Last drive win it type games. I'll take 7.5 all day. I think Jacksonville hasn't been horrible. Even against Arizona last week, they didn't get their ass kicked. They just kind of lost.
Right.
But
they were winning, like you said.
They were winning. They were a factor in the game. And I don't care. I like underdogs. And this has been an underdog year so far, and I'm taking points. I know it's crazy. I'm insane. I'm taking the Jets getting 7.5 at home. I think they're going to put some points up. I think they're going to give Tennessee a game. This will be one of those games maybe Tennessee wins, but I think the Jets are going to finally put some points up. I like 7.5. I'm taking points. I want points.
I love it, Robert. How about that 5 dogs we just took for you right there?
5 dogs.
And let's think about, I want to just make a mention about last week.
Oh.
All right. As you know, again, I told everybody I'm betting this. I'm betting every week. I'm betting all games $5. You're going to get big odds on it. Other than Ronald Harlow's hugely dumbass choice of the Washington football team, take that one out. Just dumbass call. That's our only one loser. Literally, we're a half-point Raiders away from going 6-0.
Yep.
Half point. We had Raiders -3.5, and they only won by 3.
Yep.
So, and they were ahead.
They were ahead.
That was good. But hey, we're going to get them one of these weeks. You go get them this week. Again, please tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell the people in your league.
Tell everybody.
Anyone. that we're here
Tell
Wednesdays.
Tell that guy in the street. You should watch this.
We really do a great job for you. We want to do great work for you. Let us know questions. You can ask us during the week. I'll ask Robert anything that's important. I will definitely inquire what he has to say about it. But great show as always. You guys have a great weekend. The buys and the grind are coming, and that's when we're going to win you, baby. When it's time to fill in for those guys that are on the bench. Yes. We're going to be there for you. All right, folks. See ya.